So, alright guys, we gotta get this one right. On three, we're gonna say welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to our mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we
We did
back.
our best.
And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. Look, I don't know who the fuck need to hear this shit, man, but if you're wondering if I'm like this 100% of the time, like if you follow me on Instagram and like you're looking at my shit and you're like, damn man, I wonder if he's like that all the time. The answer is absolutely fucking not. I'm fake as fuck. Like I really want people to know that. Like I'm really fake as fuck sometimes. And I'm not fake in the sense of like what I'm practicing, I'm not preaching it. No. I mean what I'm preaching, I'm not practicing. No. But it would be utterly impossible to be able to be motivated all the fucking time. Let me rephrase. It would be utterly impossible to be like that all the fucking time. Like I've went through like full on depressions on social media and no one's ever noticed. Like I've gone through it in episodes and nobody's ever noticed. So if you've ever wondered and sat back to yourself like, damn man, like I really wish, I wonder if he's like that all the time, like, no, I'm not like that all the time. Like, are you in a good mood all the time? Like, are you ready to tackle the world all the time? No, the world fights back and the world's got a nasty right hook. You see what I'm saying? Like it's okay to not be like that all the time. But trust me though, when you catch me and you see me though, I will have that exact same type of energy though. Like if you bring it up, I will have that exact same type of energy. Even if I have to manifest that type of energy from the bowels of my being, I will definitely bring that energy out. However, that is not something that's in a constant state on a regular basis. Like I have to be able to pull that from me. The same way that you have to pull yourself out of bed, I have to pull that out of me. And it's so fucked up because I didn't want to come in here and try to say that, but that was on my heart. Like, that really was just on my heart. And speaking what's on my heart, it's Friday and it's something that we just got to unfuck. And, I really was wondering what type of pun that I would come into the situation with. Like how am I going to tie in the subject with the subject of this episode? Like the whole synopsis of it. But 11 years in the military. And I would say that my people skills came to pride from this. I would say that the way I treat people also came from this. And the thing is like what we don't understand, because, this episode was really dedicated to like self-care, like, different steps to self-care. But I'll move that to Monday. Because and I really got to stop saying like, I don't know who needs to hear this, because I really do know who needs to hear this. Some of you leaders, like some of you like quote unquote people in leadership positions, like some of you people that are in these billets that hold a leadership capacity, some of you people that have people up under you and don't realize that you actually have people up under you, you fucking suck. Like you suck. And I really tread lightly when it comes down to the situation because, although I'm selected for the next grade, I really don't want to be meritorious back to the next grade for letting my mouth get the best of me. But it bothers me. Like it really bothers me when I see someone else being disrespected. And it isn't like the disrespect that I'm accustomed to. Like at one point, I missed the disrespect where somebody used to say something about me in my face. You know what I mean? Like, I prefer that type of disrespect. You see what I'm saying? Like, I prefer my disrespect up front. What I don't like is to have my time wasted. What I don't like is to have my abilities wasted. What I don't like is to have my existence invalidated. And that's one thing I can't stand when I see somebody else do. Like, I can't stand to see somebody else have their time wasted by somebody else in a capacity that is higher than their own. And the shitty part about the situation is that most of the time, if you find yourself doing that to somebody else, if you find yourself witnessing that, the person that's disrespecting them doesn't even realize it. And it's so prevalent within the military community. And I speak from the military community because I am in the military. I can assure you that this shit's happening at fucking McDonald's with the manager and the fucking fry cook. I can assure you that this shit's fucking happening with the cashiers at Walmart and the fucking supervisor. I can assure you that this is happening in every fucking climate place. But one place that I see it on a regular basis is this whole idea that because of what's on your rank, I'm going to rephrase, what's on your collar, exudes the type of respect that you think that you deserve. And with that, let's just go ahead and get into today's episode. All right, so respect. And for those who do not understand what respect is a feeling of deep admiration, Jesus Christ, where's my voice at today? For someone or something, elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. You see it all the time. You know, we have self-respect, we have respect of persons, we have respect of authority or the greater good. You know, like it's deeper than you type of respect. And I really came into this episode and I wanted to think to myself, like, how would I address respect? You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like I've never talked about it in that type of term. And, when I first talked about it on Instagram, I had to make it clear that no one's disrespecting me. Like, I'm not being disrespected. What I don't like is seeing others be disrespected. I really just don't like having to step in and have to fix the respectual, I made that word up, but I hate seeing that myself have to fix the respectual boundaries between somebody and something. So the first thing I really want to talk about was self-respect. And for those who don't understand, this is pride within you. Now, self-respect, this is the line in which you draw in the sand. If respect is a two-way street that you have to give in order to receive, what I mean by that, you have to throw for somebody to throw it back. Their self-respect is the foundation based off of how hard I'm going to throw it back to you. Like, your self-respect is without your respect, if you don't respect yourself, how the hell do you think I'm going to respect you? Like if you think that you're inferior, what do you think that I'm going to think of you? And it may not even be within our first interactions. But one thing I can't stand is somebody who lacks respect within themselves. Like an insecure person that's aware that they're insecure. And I've told people about this. There's a difference between being aware that you're insecure and knowing that you're insecure. Like, if you know that you have insecurities, you don't know exactly the whole spectrum of your insecurities. But when you're aware of them, see, the thing about being aware of them with no intention of fixing them is that when somebody who comes around you and they, irritate your insecurities, you're always going to feel inferior around them. You're going to feel out of place around them. You're going to say things to try to seem like as if you can balance the scales around them. Like, people like me can pick that up. And I don't say that in an arrogant fashion. No, I don't say that. I say that because I'm aware of my surroundings. And the issue is that when you lack self-respect, you cannot complain about how people treat you. People treat you based off of how you treat yourself. And what I mean by that is that people really treat you based off of the shit that you allow in your life. So if you allow bullshit in your life, you cannot complain about the bullshit that has taken up resident within your life. One thing I see it all the time, is how people talk to you. Now, me personally, I give respect initially. I'm going to be the first one to give some type of respect. And the reason why I always give respect is because I know me. And I know, and this is one thing that you got to understand. Self-respect, it has a lot to do with self-awareness. You got to know yourself. And the thing is that I know me. And I know how I will get the moment that I'm going to get disrespected. And I know exactly where I'm going to take it the moment that I'm disrespected. So to keep me out of jail and somebody's child out of the hospital, I try to avoid that situation by giving the utmost respect. So that way I know that if I'm disrespected, I have every right to go ahead and take it to that next level. However, aside from that, I give you the same respect that I will want you to give me back. Like, one of my favorite things, and I'm not really a religious person. I'm not really a biblical person, but do unto others as you will want them to do to you. You treat others with the same type of respect that you will want them to treat you. I'm not going to treat you like, with 5% of me, but I want 100% of you. That's not how that's going to work. This isn't a 70-30. It's not an 80-20. It's not a 90-10. You're going to get the exact same type of energy that I give myself. But speaking of self, just like what I mentioned, self-respect comes from within. It comes from within. If you asking yourself why you constantly being disrespected, you need to take a step back, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, why do you constantly disrespect you? Why do you allow people to say certain things to you? Is it because you believe that you deserve that? Is it because you think that's how everybody is supposed to talk to you? I've been victim to this situation where I've allowed shit to slide, but I don't even allow that to slide with me. Like, I'm not even saying this type of shit to myself. One of the things that I've mentioned, and I always talk about it within, like, cancel your subscription, upgrade the price. That the moment that you start to make changes within your life, like recalibrate the self-respect that you have within you, you're going to lose people. Because once again, self-respect is about the line within the sand. And a lot of people have already crossed that line. So when you pull that line back and redraw it, there's a lot of people that's not going to want to go back on the other side. And this is the part where you end up losing people. Because if you're not about to, move your room, like move your shit, move back onto this side so that way I can refix the respect that I have, you got to go. A lot of times people go back on the change that they made. Like they renege on the personal development within them because they can't remove people. They can't remove the fucking squatters within their life. And I say squatters because once again, that line in the sand, when you decided that you wanted to just move the property around of self-respect, those people had already crossed that line and they don't want to leave. And you can't remove them. So rather than remove them, you decide to remove the plans of self-development. And I don't know why that sounds so stupid, but it really does. When I decided I was going to get my shit together, the first person that I had to tell myself that I was going to get my shit together was me. When I told myself that I wanted to see you become a better version of yourself, I had to say that to myself first. When I said that I wanted to see you do it, I had to say I wanted to see myself do it. I had to value me. And when you value you realize, like, look, man, like, if I'm not treating myself like that, then why the fuck do I allow you to do it? Like, why would I allow you to talk to me as if, like, I'm less than you? And we allow that. Why would I allow you to treat me as if I'm just something that's replaceable? Like you can order me from fucking Amazon and I'll be here in the next 2 to 3 days. Like my energy is not that fucking powerful. Like I'm just not a fucking vibe in human form. Like that's the type of energy that you should have. And that's the type of feelings that you should be able to exhibit when you feel like as if somebody has crossed that line with you. Like, I apologize, but don't you know who the fuck you're talking to? Like, do you know who you're around? Like when you have self-respect, you realize that you are not a entitlement. You are a privilege. But moving on. The next one, I kind of feel like I wanted to start with self-respect because I know that's something that's always on everybody's head. You know what I mean? Like, self-respect, you got to respect me. It's me. You got to, look up to me. You got to give me X, Y, and Z. And do you know how many times I have gotten into it with somebody in the military because they felt like as if I disrespected them? But I'll tell you something right now. Just like what I mentioned earlier, I give respect. I treat others with respect. So if you find yourself ever disrespected by me, this is a moment of transparency because you need to ask yourself, what did I do to him? Like for real, like, and this isn't like, once again, this isn't an arrogant episode for me. This is really a transparent moment. What did I do to him? And I say that because for the next one, it's about respect of person. I never understand how you want something, but you're not prepared to give that. Like you want to be successful, but you're not prepared to, stay up late. You're not prepared to sacrifice. You're not prepared to do all of these things that are needed to become successful. You want to feel important, but you are not prepared to make somebody else feel important. You want respect, but you're not prepared to to give respect. You want to be respected. And this is the part where we kind of like misconstrue the idea of what respect is. And I get it. I trust me, I get it. I remember when I became an NCO, For all those who have see those present greetings, no need opposing trust and confidence and fidelity of X, Y, and Z. All lesser grade shall render obedience to appropriate orders. That part right there, I kind of feel like right there, all lesser grade will render obedience to we get that so fucked up that because of what's on my collar, that is how you're going to treat me, and I don't have to treat you a certain way. Like as if what's on your collar and what's on my collar determines the amount of respect that's going to be exchanged between us. Like I'm going to give you a 3 because I'm a 4. Let me rephrase. I'm going to give you, you're going to give me a 5, but I'm going to give you what? Like a 2? But that's not right. A lot of people always come up to me because they be like, oh, why do you always call me young man or, young lady or ma'am or something of that nature? And I have to explain to people, like, first and foremost, one, I'm not about to call you by your rank. Like if you are of lower rank than me, I'm not walking up to you and be like this. Good morning, Lance Corporal. How's it going? I will say good morning, ma'am. I will go say good morning, sir. I will say young man. And the reason why I say young man is because one, more than likely, I'm probably older than you. 2, if you're not a man, then let me know and I'll refer it. I'll fix your pronoun. But it is so much of a sign of respect. I won't call you, I won't say devil dog. I won't say warrior. I won't say anything. I don't do all of that. But there's a certain level of respect that you have to be able to give somebody. It's a certain level of respect when you shake somebody's hand. I can't stand a weak handshake. I don't know why I had to throw that out there. But if you got a weak handshake, like I'm going to just tell you right now, here's a bonus round. Take your extended, like your index finger, and when you shake somebody's hand, extend your index finger up their wrist. So that way you always give a firm handshake. Like ain't nothing more disrespectful than meeting somebody halfway with a real handshake and they give you this little flimsy shit that they fucking learned on Fortnite. Like you might as well just go ahead, keep that. But respect of others. We get so caught up in this whole idea that people are supposed to respect us because of our ability. We get so caught up in this whole idea that people are supposed to respect us because of our rank. If you walk into a room and you think that you command respect based off of the thing that's on your collar, I can assure you right now that when the shit finally hits the fan, you're going to be the first one to bleed out on the battlefield with no help. Matter of fact, you're probably going to receive the least amount of help. Like we forget that we're dealing with human beings. Let me rephrase. We forget that we work around human beings. And we believe that, the rank that you hold, and I will get into the next part of that, does command a lot of respect. But sometimes the person that's holding it doesn't. Sometimes the person that's behind it is hiding behind it. How can you expect your dang on Junior Marines to respect anything if you can't even give them respect? I said this once, and I give you an example about why it's so important to respect others. We're selfish creatures at heart. And the very foundation of us, we're selfish. We're survivalists at the very core. Opportunists at the very core. If I didn't respect those under me, I can assure you at every chance, they're going to seek them over me every fucking time. It will always be I over us every fucking time. Your junior Marines show up late because you don't value their time. And the reason why you don't value their time is because you think that what you say is more important. And I'll tell you about why they're showing up late. Because they already know that you're going to take the time regardless. Pass word before fucking chow when you could have passed that after chow. Instead of letting them go home early, you decided to keep them late because you needed to just get this shit off. So any chance that they get to be able to take care of them, they're going to take care of them because they know that you're not going to. And the moment that somebody loses trust and confidence and fidelity in you, they will always seek themselves over it, and it compromises everything around us. They don't take pride in their uniforms because you don't take pride in them. You don't invalidate them. They don't take pride in the job because you don't see them for what they're worth. You don't praise them for their job. You don't respect their work. That's the word that I was looking for. It's crazy about an episode of Respect that I could not find it. But that's why they keep giving you half-ass jobs, because they know that it's not even being looked at. The thing about giving respect is that it does something so much. It empowers. Like I had to tell somebody, I said, sit up straight, have respect for yourself. Like I pour respect into people. Because the thing about it is, and this is, although I said that self-respect comes from within, but when you show somebody respect, it has a thing called recharging them. Like when you treat somebody for what they are worth, I ain't nothing more like sadder. I don't know why my words were so jumbled up, but it's a shame when you see somebody that's worth more than gold, but they've been given a clearance sale deal. Like they $1 million person, but they've been traded before. They taken half of their worth, quarters of their worth. So when they finally come across you who respects them, it's new to them. It's out of place for them. It makes them feel uncomfortable because no one has ever said that to them. Like we as leaders, let me rephrase, we as people have the ability to recharge one another on some of our darkest days, but we always choose us over them. And I get it. I understand. But I can assure you that if you're around me, I'm going to treat you exactly how much you're worth. And it might be a surprise to you when you realize how much you're worth. The last one, and I think this one is the most important. It's the most important in my eyes, to be honest with you. And this is actually the driving force behind a lot of my actions. And this is the greater good of respect. And I will get back with you with the proper name to it, but I'll just say the greater good. For those who don't know, I'm a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I'm also a Marine. I'm a father. I'm a black man. Yes. I'm a lot of things. And because I am a lot of things, there are certain things that I will do and what I will not do. Today kind of took me back a little bit because as I'm standing in this promotion, congratulations to everybody that was promoted within the past 48 hours. I'm watching this Marine get promoted. And within the same moments that they promoted her, next thing you know, she hits the ground. And I just couldn't, I've seen people fall out of formations before because it's hot. I've seen people lock their knees out before. But if you're going to do that, you're not going to do that on the day that you get fucking promoted. Like on the day that you have the spotlight, you're not about to fumble the bag. Like you're not about to fumble it. And I don't think, and this really made me realize something. I don't think a lot of people realize the responsibilities that they have on their shoulders. Like I don't think a lot of people really realize who's actually watching them. Self-respect is one thing. Giving respect is another. But respecting the institution, the organization, your name, the greater good is something that can never be topped. I remember being in a uniform inspection. And once again, I'm a sergeant. And there's, we're in the business of, moving personnel, handling the mission X, Y, and Z. And I remember seeing this other sergeant. I ain't gonna mention his name, but Jesus Christ, man, I hope he's doing good in life. But I looked at his uniform and I wish I would have caught it prior to, but I didn't catch it until the formation started, until the uniform inspection started. And when I say his uniform just looked like as if he pulled it out of his rectum, it really did. It was wrinkled. It was dirty. And I just couldn't understand how you the same rank as me. You've been in just as long as me. We get paid the same. Why you can't hold the exact same fucking standard as me? And this is the part where I need you to understand that sometimes, that saying when they say it's bigger than you, it really is bigger than you. And when you disrespect yourself, you have a habit of disrespecting all of us. See, it wasn't just him who just embarrassed himself. He embarrassed all the sergeants. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that. They think that, they're just embarrassing themselves. No, that's not even the case. You embarrass us all. That based off of what I do right now to somebody that's randomly on the street could determine how they see an entire race of people, how they see a person from one state, how they see an entire rank, how they see an entire organization. People don't realize the weight on their shoulders. So as he's standing next to me, looking like a bag of ass, I can only feel nothing but embarrassment. I felt embarrassed to be a sergeant. I felt embarrassed to be his peer. I felt embarrassed to be him. I felt embarrassed to be me right then and there. See, the thing that a lot of people didn't understand is that I'm pretty sure that the junior Marine next to him, he spent hours getting his uniform together. And you couldn't even give yourself 10 minutes? That's the greater good. When I watched that Marine fall out in her own promotion ceremony, I just didn't understand, because it's like all those other corporals that came before you, all those other NCOs that came before you, you hold the weight of all of us. And that weight was just too much on your first day of the job. Like, a lot of people don't respect the fact that they have people under their charge. Not that they have people under their charge, the fact that they have people under their charge. Like, I'll say it again, it's not about the people that's just really under your charge. It's the fact that somebody took the time to put people under your charge. And that's the issue. That we believe that the respect that of us is more important than them, but it's really the greater good. Like, I take failure very serious within squads. I take failure very serious. Not about my personal growth. I know that I'm going to gain something, but I don't like embarrassing those around me. Like, I remember being in boot camp and seeing these people show up on those days of boot camp and then they tapping out. Like, that's what your parents raised? Like, would your parents be proud of what they had carried for 9 months, went back and forth about names, and then went on ahead and raised you for 18 years just to find out that you really not the man that you thought that you was? Like you really got to ask yourself right now, if those who you say look up to you were watching you perform, would they be proud of you or would they be embarrassed? And that's the type of energy that I move forward with. That on those nights where I sit back and I say to myself that I really don't want to do this shit no more. That I have to dig within the bowels of me to be able to pull out the energy to give to everyone else. Will my children be proud of me? Would they be able to sit back and say, that's my father right there? On those days where I'm facing some form of adversity and I think that I just can't give 100%. And I really just want to quit. I ask myself, are the Marines under me? Would they be proud of me? Would they sit back and move you out the way to say that that's my sergeant right there? Or would they just look away and hope to God that I don't say anything to them? Respect is a two-way street that you have to throw to be able to receive. And although your billet, your rank, and all of those things that come with a title may command some form of respect, you need to ask yourself how long you're going to live in the shadow of it. We as people have the ability to be able to recharge, reignite, revalidate. But you'll never realize it if you don't even have respect for yourself. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled Meech. Don't forget to share this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, follow this podcast, pass this podcast to somebody, because this podcast was dedicated to helping everyone become a better version of themselves. Even though I don't know what that type of version is, I just know that you can be better. Lastly, don't forget to grab your copy of The Extraordinary Thought from the Ordinary Mind, available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I think there's an electrical copy. You know what it is. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.